talk about POVs. Now, first of all, this isn't writing advice. I'm not giving you writing advice. I'm not telling you what to or do or not do. I'm just talking about my thought process and my rules of thumb when it comes to points of view. You can have as many POVs in a book as you want. However, for me, my question is, how familiar is the audience with the point of view, and does it contribute to the story in a meaningful way, right? Meaningful can have various definitions. Some of the biggest criticisms I've faced with Paragon Exordium is a few chapters in, you get a chapter that is from the point of view of the Basilisk, which is a giant evil snake monster, right? A lot of people really enjoy this chapter, but one of the criticisms I've gotten for it is that it doesn't contribute anything to the story because the events in it are the same as events from different point of views. That's a valid criticism. The thing it contributes to the story, for me as an indie author, is it's fun. You're getting to see a series of events from the perspective of the monster they're fighting. Not only is it fun, there are some slight inconsistencies which correlate with the fact that it's a different point of view, which may be part of the underlying message and one of the underlying points of my series I'm trying to communicate is different points of view, color circumstances, and color events. I think after roughly 4 points of view, people can get a little overwhelmed with the story, especially if they're not spread out and especially if you're not coming back to the characters. The rule of thumb is no more than 4 standard points of view unless you lose a point of view which you can then replace. If you're going to have what I call bonus points of view, which I do have in my books, those bonus points of view need to be characters that the audience is already to a degree familiar with, so they aren't getting lost in that, and there has to be characters in like the setting of the story that's taking place, like a minor character. But for the most part, I reserve those for side characters or villain characters who it's interesting to see a little bit of their perspective. Familiarity is really key to balancing it. And there are books. Joe Abercrombie wrote a book where there's like 8 chapters in a row. The POV keeps changing because it's a battle and it's the character that unalives the other character taking over for the point of view, which is a really neat concept. I have a story that's just a bunch of different POVs surrounding events or correlating or connecting. If you're doing it in a gimmick way, you can have more as long as that's communicated to the audience. As always, may you walk under blue skies.